Have you ever wondered if it is actually possible to know exactly what someone is thinking and feeling about you? Many historical mind readers and fortune tellers relied on a very specific technique. They watched for involuntary physical reactions and fed those observations back to the subject as insight. Trained clinical psychologists use these exact same observational methods today. By watching microexpressions and body language, they decode hidden emotional states that their patients never put into words. We will cover a specific daily observation practice designed to completely silence your own internal noise. This allows you to pick up on the subtle, unspoken signals of the people around you. Decoding thoughts is a practical psychological skill. It becomes accessible once you learn to shut off your own internal voice first. Step 1 is establishing your baseline. You need to carve out exactly 15 minutes every day, dedicated to absolute zero verbal communication. The early 20th century mystic George Gurdjieff made this a core part of his teachings. He argued that spoken words often mask our true intentions. Ancient teachers and Zen masters applied a similar logic. They required students to isolate themselves in empty rooms and completely silence their physical voices before any higher learning could begin. Physical speech and internal verbalization rely on the same neural pathways. By halting the motor process of the mouth, you physically deprive the internal chatter of the energy it needs to persist. To set this up properly, find a quiet room. Ensure you have zero interruptions. Turn off your phone and eliminate all external visual or auditory stimuli. Mastering this physical silence is the non-negotiable prerequisite. You cannot begin any external psychological observation until your own baseline is entirely quiet. Step 2 introduces the internal practice. We used an ancient technique known as anapanasati, which centers entirely on deep breath focus. Sit in a stable, upright posture. Shift your entire cognitive focus away from the room and strictly onto the physical sensation of air entering and leaving your body. This graph shows the chaotic brain activity of a wandering mind. When racing thoughts appear, observe them without reacting. As you maintain neutrality, this internal chatter dials down. The high spikes of cognitive noise settle into a low hum, eventually flattening out entirely. When this mental flatline occurs, you will notice a distinct physical sensation of deep calm and absolute stillness throughout your body. This state of mind strips thoughts of their emotional weight, leaving them as passing observations rather than disruptions to your focus. Step 3 pivots this internal skill out. Transition your cultivated silence into an active, real-world conversation with another person. This diagram shows two radio receivers. One emits dense static that blocks incoming signals, while the other is perfectly clear. You cannot receive a clear signal from someone else if your own mind is broadcasting its own static. While the other person is talking, completely stop formulating your next response. Let them speak without planning your own comeback in the background. Shift your focus entirely away from their verbal words. Scan strictly for subtle physical cues, like the specific way their hands clench over a table. A quiet mind reallocates cognitive bandwidth from speaking to observing. This freed up attention allows you to register hidden discomfort or suppressed enthusiasm that most people miss. True communication happens in these involuntary physical reactions. The spoken vocabulary is often just a secondary layer over what the body is actually saying. Neuroplasticity takes time. Rewiring your brain to prioritize observation over internal chatter requires months of daily consistency. As this skill develops, you will begin to register all the subtle shifts in atmosphere and body language that reveal a person's true stance before they say a single word. This provides a significant defensive benefit. When a person's words don't match their physical tension, you will detect the inconsistency immediately, making manipulation much harder to execute. It starts with shutting off your own internal voice. From there, you build the bandwidth to successfully decode the unspoken thoughts of everyone around you. Your final step is immediate. Set an alarm on your phone right now for exactly 15 minutes of the silence protocol tomorrow morning.